Hi guys, and welcome to Escape Wheel Watch Reviews. My name is Steve, and today we're going to be looking at the Monbrey MB2. The watch you're looking at here is a prototype. I received this watch for free. I don't have to send the watch back, but no matter how I get a watch in for review on this channel, you're going to get my honest opinion every single time. There will be a couple updates from this to the final product, but this will give you a good idea of the final quality, and I'll touch base on those couple little changes that they're going to make. And if by the end of this review you want to pick one of these up or find out some more information, I'll be leaving a link down in the video description. It's not an affiliate link or anything like that, it just takes you right to the website. The full retail price for this watch is $649 US. However, if you pre-order the watch, it starts on November 4th, 2024. You can get the watch for $486. That's a 25% savings, so jump on it early if you want to. I believe delivery starts end of March or early April of 2025. The watch comes in 7 different colorways that you can see here. They have both the jewel steel dials, which you see on the bottom, or an engraved mother of pearl dial, which also looks amazing. Those are the ones that you see on the top there. So the watch case is made of 316L stainless steel, has a sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating, a screw-down crown, screw-down case back, 100 meters of claimed water resistance. The watch case is also anti-magnetic. And the watch comes with a stainless steel bracelet as well as a leather strap in the box. So you get quite the package for this thing. So when Monbrey contacted me asking me if I wanted to review this watch, I jumped at the opportunity. Their MB1 model looks absolutely fantastic. It's beautiful and it sold very well for them. So yeah, I say we check this one out, see if it's worth the money. But before we do a quick wrist check today. Wearing a new to me watch. This is the Seiko SPB 121, I believe, Alpinist. Just got this one in the mail the other day, and it is absolutely beautiful. Not sure I'll ever do a review on it for you, but yeah, there's plenty of them out there. All right, let's start with the dimensions. Got a case diameter of 37.5 millimeters, case thickness of 12 millimeters, got 20 millimeter lug width, lug tip to lug tip of 45.2 millimeters, and sized for my 7.5 inch wrist. Weighs 126 grams. So I think the size is going to be great for anyone with a 7.25 inch down to about 6 inch wrist. I think it's going to be a great size, 45 lug to lug. The thickness of 12 millimeters. 12 millimeters seems a little thick for Miyota 9000 series, but I can tell you right now, it wears much thinner than that. A lot of that is in the case back, and a lot of that is also in the crystal there. So yeah, I think the case profile wears really, really nice. You can see there, nice thin mid case with some nice turn down to the lugs too. 20 millimeter lug width for easy strap changes. So yeah, this thing is great. It's a great size. It's a great weight. And I don't really I can't complain about the way that it wears. It wears small for me, but obviously people with smaller wrists, it's going to wear perfect on, I think. So yeah, I'm really happy with the way the watch wears. I'm going to go outside right now, throw it on my wrist for you. And here we are on my 7.5 inch wrist, and as you can see, I think it wears okay. It wears like a 37 millimeter watch does. It's a little bit small for me personally, but I still do like the way that it wears. It's light, it's thin. You can see the light play off the chamfers. It has nice turn down to the wrist, so it just hugs my wrist perfectly. Again, lots of light play off of the bracelet. I think it looks fantastic. Feels very balanced on wrist too, and the crystal is good. I mean, it's a really good looking watch. And here we are out in some direct sunlight, and you can see there, looking really good. Plenty of AR coating on the crystal. The dial does have a little bit of sparkle to it too. So yeah, I just think it looks really, really good. I love the light play off the bracelet, like I mentioned. It just looks excellent. Let's go throw it on some straps and let's get back to the review. Alright, so this is the included strap. You can see it's just a black textured leather. Obviously black and blue is not my favorite combination, but I actually think it does look pretty good. And the strap is actually pretty decent. We'll talk about it here in some more detail later on. But yeah, I actually do like the strap, and it's branded there as well. So and it's a good length too. So yeah, I think it looks good. I think we can do better though. Yeah, here we are on a Vario vintage leather. I think the blue and the tan goes great together. Kind of that pop of gold on the dial there also plays into the strap. So yeah, I do like the way this thing wears. What do you guys think? And here we are on a cut to size FKM. This one is a kind of a tropic style. I think the dark blue goes with the dial nicely, and I like that the texture on the dial kind of goes onto the strap here too. So just thought I'd throw it on there and see how it looks, and I actually kind of like it. And lastly, here we are on a one-piece nylon strap, 2 layers underneath the watch, and it's still sitting very nice. This is a very lightweight combination, and I actually think it looks pretty good. I was kind of unsure of how I would feel about this one, but I actually like it. This is a Cincy Strapco SF2 for those that are interested. I'll leave a link down below for all these straps. Alright, let's go back inside. Let's get back to this review. Well, let's talk about the case finishing. So case finishing is a mixture of brushed and polished surfaces. We have circular brushing on the top of the bezel there. Nice, fine, satinized brushing. We have a nice polished chamfer there, which brings us down to the bottom face of the bezel there, which is all polished. Vertical brushing on the tops of the case and on the tops of the lugs here. It looks absolutely fantastic. Really nice satinized brushing, very consistent. I don't see any imperfections at all. We have nice high polished chamfers here. Again, the polishing is done excellent, and those transitions between the two surfaces are just razor sharp. Very, very happy with the case finishing. Flipping it to the side here, you have a horizontal brushing looking really good. You have a screw down signed crown there. Really nice logo there, in my opinion. Good grip on the crown, good size on the crown. Yeah, I mean, it just looks really good. You can see the bottom side of the lugs here. They're polished there. Everything just looks really, really good. Very happy with the way this thing wears. You can see we've got some text here on the underside of the lugs. That is obviously a prototype, and then MB2. I don't even know what that is. That's just the model number. Yours isn't going to come with that. But you can see here, simple screw down case back. I don't like these things. I never have, and I never will. You can see it is anti-magnetic, so this is considered an anti-magnetic watch. I believe the 4,800 units that they're quoting. I'm not sure what that is in Gauss, but that's kind of the minimum to be considered anti-magnetic, and to be able to label your watch as anti-magnetic. So this is an anti-magnetic watch, which is actually pretty cool. It's probably where some of that thickness comes from too. They probably have some sort of a Faraday cage in there. So yeah, 12 millimeters. It's really not that bad still. So yeah, the fact that it is anti-magnetic, that's pretty cool as well. But I mean, the case finishing on this watch is excellent, and it reminds me a lot of the Halios Universa. Just a little bit smaller, but the finishing looks excellent. I've got zero complaints with it. It is fantastic, and it's super comfortable on wrist too. All right, let's talk about the crystal. First things first, we'll test it for sapphire. It's positive for sapphire. So it is a sapphire crystal. It has anti-reflective coating on the underside and anti-fingerprint coating on the outside. And I will say this one has picked up less fingerprints than other ones. So yeah, I think the coating that they're using is working pretty good. So it's kind of this box style sapphire. These corners here are very, very sharp though. You can see it's not like a gradual rounding of the transition between the vertical surface and the horizontal surface of the glass. So it's an interesting look. It looks really good though. I do like it a lot. But you just don't get that distortion that you get on some other, more rounded box sapphires. But I will say it looks absolutely fantastic. The clarity has been excellent, and I've got no complaints about the crystal at all. It's a very, very good crystal, and a pretty interesting one, actually. All right, let's get real close and we'll talk about the dial. The dial is absolutely stunning. So there are two different versions of this. This is considered the jewel steel. We'll talk about it here in just a second. But they do have 3 engraved mother of pearl dials. They're a very subtle mother of pearl, it looks like. Obviously, it might change in person and on camera, but the pictures make it look very subtle. They look absolutely awesome. I love the colors. I had a hard time choosing between this one and the green one. I ended up going with this one now. But yeah, it looks absolutely amazing, this jewel steel. I'm just going to go right in and get you a close-up of it. Just look at that. It's kind of a weird texture on it, but it's not. The dial itself is not textured, I don't think. So it's almost like it's a texture underneath kind of a glossy glaze. So it looks absolutely fantastic. Yeah, it kind of changes and sparkles, but it's also just kind of a matte blue color. It just looks really good, really interesting. Yeah, it's just nicely done now. You have a raised part of the minute track here on the outside there, little plots of lume at every 5-minute increment there, double plot there at the 12 o'clock. The applied indices, again, got some trickery going on here. They are laser etched, as you can kind of see on the 12 o'clock right there. I'm not sure I can show you guys, but there's times where it reflects, and you can see it right there on the 1 o'clock, where it kind of gives like a rainbow effect to it. Really an interesting effect. It looks good. It makes the dial very legible, no matter any of the lighting conditions. And then you do have high polished chamfers on all the sides. So it sparkles and catches the light, but at the same time, it seems to be very legible. The handset that they used on it, nice and big and bold. They are brushed on the top surface there. I don't believe it's that same laser etching. It's just a brushing finish. And then polished chamfers, the minute hand reaching right out to the minute track, the hour hand just touching the inside of the hour markers. It's a perfect handset for this watch. The pinion on the seconds hand is capped. It's a nice little touch there. The second hand on this model, it is a very subtle gold color or brass or bronze color. It's not silver. It's very subtle though. I thought it was going to be a little more gold than it is. But you can see right here, it's just a very subtle brass color. But I think it looks really good. You have your applied Monbrey logo. They said that they might be doing something with that, just kind of knocking down the shininess of it. It doesn't look bad, but it just doesn't flow with the indices in my opinion. So if they made this a flat top instead of kind of rounded and brushed it, I think it would look fantastic. So there's going to be some change to that. I'm just not quite sure what it is. But even if they keep it the same, I don't think it's a negative of the watch at all. You have your magnetic resistant down here as well. So, I mean, I think the watch in general looks really good. The dial looks fantastic. The lume on the watch, it's okay. I can pop up a lume shot here. You can see it against a couple other watches in the collection. The lume plots on the dial itself, they're pretty small. They do fade pretty quickly. The hands are pretty heavily loomed. It is BGW9 lume, so you get that nice ice blue glow. I just wish they would have done a little bit more on the lume. I don't think it's a big important part of this watch just because it's kind of more dressy, but yeah, more lume is always better in my opinion. But the lume on this watch it's not horrible. It's not great. So let's talk about the movement and the crown. So the movement inside is the Highbeat Miyota 9039 automatic movement, 28,800 beats per hour. It hacks, it hand winds. It's got a single directional winding rotor. I do hear it from time to time spinning back there, so yeah, just something to consider. 42 hours of power reserve, I believe. It does everything it needs to do. They've always been very accurate for me, these Miyota 9000s. And then Monbrey, they're taking the time to regulate each and every one that goes out. Here's how this one has been running. I mean, it's dead on, so I can't complain about that, but I think you're going to be happy with the regulation on these things. I believe they're going to plus or minus 8 seconds a day, and they're going to be able to get it even better than that, I think. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with the movement inside. It keeps the profile nice and slim as well. So, really happy with that. Operation, just like any other watch with this movement. You got a 3 o'clock screw down crown there. You get a nice pop out. First position is your hand winding. It's nice and smooth. Second position pops right into the time setting position. Hacks the second there. This is where you set your time. The alignment was spot on. And I mean, everything here just functions as you would expect it to. So no surprises. The crown feels nice and solid as well. Push it in, starts up the movement every time. Screw in action, picks up the threads immediately. I've had no issues with the threading on this thing. It is excellent. So yeah, really happy with the movement on this thing, and I think you're going to get a good one. All right, so let's talk about the bracelet and the strap. So the strap is included in the box. It's an Epsom leather. It's pretty nice, actually. Very flexible, smells good, feels good. It's a good length as well. The buckle on it is signed with the Monbrey. It's a nice, solid feeling buckle. Not something that I've seen elsewhere, so I don't think it's like an off-the-shelf part. You get one floating keeper and one stationary keeper. You get color match stitching, at least on this model here. Nice texture and I think a nice sheen to it. So yeah, I do like it. It is signed on the underside there as well. Genuine leather, obviously. Genuine leather is just kind of the bare bones, but either way, it's nice. They do have quick release spring bars as well, so that's nice to see. It's a nice bonus. It's 20 millimeters and it tapers down to 16 millimeters at the clasp. So I am pretty happy with the included strap. It's not a garbage one. It's an actual bonus that you get in the box, so that's nice to see. The bracelet that comes on it, though, I think is going to be the way most people are going to be wearing it. So the bracelet is, again, 20 millimeters, and it tapers down to 16 millimeters at the clasp. Tolerances are pretty nice. They are changing this end link somehow. I'm not really sure. Maybe it's just to bring it a little bit closer to the case. I'm not really sure, but even as is, I don't think it's bad at all. It looks fine. So yeah, I'm not really sure how they're going to improve it, but they say they're going to improve that. So I take their word for it. End link fitment, nice and tight in here. There's no unsightly gaps or anything like that. It flows with the case curvature just perfectly. Yeah, I mean, I've got no complaints with the end links. The end links, they do drop straight down there, so it's going to fit all sorts of wrist sizes. I love the bracelet. It's a flat link, H-link style, and yeah, it just looks fantastic. You got these high polished chamfers here on the corners, which flow with the chamfers on the case, and then you also have just high polished bits here and there throughout the rest of the bracelet, just on these surfaces here and all these surfaces here. So you do get that nice brush surface, but then it does catch the light just beautifully. Articulation is good. It's not a hair puller. The bracelet sizing system appears to be pin and collar. They shipped this one to me with no spare links on it, so I didn't have to deal with that. But yeah, pin and collar is kind of a little bit of a bummer. But it's a small gripe. It's something you do one time and then you're done with it. Working our way to the clasp here, you do have a signed clasp. Very simple logo. I think it looks good. You have brushing on the top, polish on the chamfers there, and brushing on the sides. Everything looks good. It's nicely rounded. I've seen this clasp before. I've seen this same clasp in Christopher Ward. They use a clasp that's very similar to this. C. Stern, Sugas, they use a similar clasp. It's an on-the-fly clasp here, so you can push it in without pressing a button. And then to extend it, you got to pull this lever here, and then you can pull it out. So you get about a link and a half worth of adjustment. So yeah, it functions exactly like you'd expect it to. Very nice, fully milled on the inside, nice tight tolerances. Everything opens and closes just the way you expect it to. So yeah, the bracelet on this watch is great. I've got no issues with it at all. This bottom edge has been nice and comfortable for me. And like I said, the fluidity is great. No links are catching up on each other. It's not pulling my hairs or anything like that. I think the flat link just looks fantastic. The way it catches the light with all the polished chamfers and all the brushing, it just looks fantastic. It looks really, really good on this watch. And yeah, I have been enjoying the bracelet. Typically I throw watches on straps. This one I've been keeping on the bracelet because it just looks so good and it's super comfortable. Oh, and I forgot one other thing. Nice bonus is the quick release spring bars on the bracelet. So can't forget about those. I'm a huge fan of quick release spring bars. So yeah, it's pretty much the perfect setup for me. So yeah, really happy with the bracelet on the watch. All right, there you go, guys. That is the Monbrey MB2. I think it's pretty much a perfect GADA watch. You know, go anywhere, do anything. Anti-magnetic, 100 meters of water resistance, sapphire crystal, decent lume, really nice bracelet, beautiful case. There's not a whole lot to complain about. Even the price, I think, is pretty good for what you're getting. $486 on pre-order, which starts again on the 4th of November 2024. The watches will ship from the end of March through early April of 2025. So you're going to have to wait a little bit, but I think the wait is going to be worth it. These watches look fantastic. And yeah, I mean, it's just it's a killer deal for what you're paying, in my opinion. You know, I've seen a few Microbrand watches recently and had them on the channel recently. This one ranks up there. I mean, it's excellent. I've got really not a whole lot to complain about on this watch, guys. So yeah, if you are interested in this, head down to the link in the video description and check them out. I think that's it for me. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.